super duper unprepared. Let me try this again. Hang on. I'm still here. Hang on just 1 second. Okay, come on. Join me live for my WWE Wrestlemania 37 preview and predictions. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Okay. Get that in there. Oh God, where'd my tissue go? Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. One second. Okay, now that I'm all settled all this, what is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. How y'all doing on this Thursday evening? In about an hour and 15 minutes, we've got night 2 of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver 2021 taking place. And I am just a mess, in a rush, very unprepared, but I have no time at all in the next couple days, so I gotta squeeze this in now. I'm gonna kind of fly through these, but this is my WWE Wrestlemania 37 preview and predictions. 1 second. If it comes up. Forgot to change the title before the stream began. Okay, just to make that note in there. But yes, this is my WrestleMania 37 preview and predictions. Not 36 if it pops up. I started hit recording right before the stream. Right before I realized, because I copied over the information for like the graphic and not the graphic for the title and the description and everything before I had after I had hit start stream. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. I also didn't get to throw any tags in there because, again, I'm just in a rush. I have no time right now. Again, my friend's coming in 45 minutes, and like I said, I have no time tomorrow. I have no time Saturday, no time Sunday, and I gotta get these predictions done. So if I rush through here, I'm sorry, but this is what you're gonna get from me. This is my, again, preview predictions of WrestleMania 37, taking place this weekend, April 10th and April 11th, 2021, at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. This is where WrestleMania 36 was last year, unfortunately, because it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. It got moved to the Performance Center. So this year, we'll get a live audience again for a 2-night show. There's going to be about 25,000 fans that are going to be allowed to attend WrestleMania 37. I've said for a few weeks now, the build, it's had its good peaks, but fairly recently, I feel like that if you didn't watch any episodes of Raw or SmackDown recently, well, more so Raw, you really don't need to watch any more shows to, be prepared to what's going to be happening on this show. I feel like some matches on this show is going to be good, some are going to be hit or miss, and a few that I literally don't care about. But we're going to talk about all 14 of them. And of course, I'm going to have predicted how they're going to happen. Now, I know which matches are happening night 1, which matches are happening night 2, so of course I will split them up by that and try to predict them, what are going to happen each of the nights. We know that the main event for night 1 is going to be Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. And the main event of night 2 is going to be Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat for the Universal Championship. I'm sorry. Just got hit with my allergies not even an hour ago. So I'm blowing my nose. That's why. I'm not sick, just got allergies. So let's roll into this, talk about these predictions, and we'll go from there. So the first match, now, based off of the 7 matches we're getting on both nights, the match I have first for both nights is a match that I think should just be put on the pre-show. Such as this one. This tag team turmoil match between these 5 women's tag teams. Natalya and Tamina. Supposedly we are getting a team with Billie Kay and Carmella for no reason. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Naomi and Lana. And the Riot Squad. Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. The winner of this match will go on to night 2 to face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And we all know how little I care about the women's tag titles. Very, very little do I care about them. So the fact that they're having this a match for, a championship that I don't give a crap about, I don't really care about this match either. Like, these women's tag titles are doing nothing for anybody. I mean, when you have Nia Jax having the women's tag titles and Shayna Baszler as her stooge, when Shayna Baszler should be the one benefiting from this, instead it's Nia Jax, and we all know how much a lot of people can't stand Nia Jax, of course. Why do you care? And honestly, why would I care about any of these teams winning the tag titles anyway to begin with? We got Natalya and Tamina, who cares? Billie Kay and Carmella, don't see anything there. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, I'll give credit. They're decent, but they've had how many opportunities against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? They've lost how many times? Except for the times where Shayna Baszler gets rolled up and acts like nothing happens. Naomi and Lana, they've had enough encounters. And the Riot Squad lost the Clash of Champions last year. But if I could pick which team I would say win, give it to the Riot Squad. It's probably the freshest that I actually care about. I mean, I know they feuded back right after the Riot Squad got back together in the fall or whatever it was. So give it to the Riot Squad. Riot Squad wins this match, and they go on to fight Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for night 2. Who's going to pick for that night? We'll have to find out in a few minutes. So that's that pick. The second match I got, well, to open up the main card, I got this Raw tag title match between The New Day, AJ Styles, and Omos. Now, I'm all for giving AJ Styles a shot for the tag titles. It's the only title that he hasn't won in WWE. He's won the United States, the Intercontinental, and the World title, but he hasn't won the tag titles yet. Okay, but why Omos? Again, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Omos. I just see the newest Great Khali. A guy who just is green, has no, great movement about him. All I've seen him do is catch AJ Styles like he's holding a little kid, or he's just like had some very, stiff double choke slam or something like that. Like, he's not that interesting. I really don't think he is. And the other thing is, why in the heck does AJ Styles need a bodyguard? And then you got the elephant in the room where this should have been the Hurt Business defending their Raw tag titles against I don't know who, but, a team that actually was clicking. I mean, New Day, they've always clicked. They've had their runs, but again, they've done all they can at this point. Hurt Business, though, they're fresh. They've resurrected their careers. Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. But now, they're no more. I don't know why. They're no more. And even Bobby Lashley and MVP argued it when Vince was going to break them up. So, another match I'm not really too excited about. Because it's very obvious. AJ Styles and Omos are going to win, which I'm fine with AJ Styles being a Grand Slam champion. But once again, I don't give a crap about Omos. Sorry, I see nothing. Oh, then again, don't forget. I compared him to the Great Khali. Remember, Great Khali's now a Hall of Famer. I didn't get to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, so I didn't get to hear what his speech was, but yeah, don't forget that. Great Khali's a Hall of Famer. So, if Great Khali can be in the Hall of Fame, you bet your money I'm sure Omos will someday be in the Hall of Fame, even though I see absolutely nothing in him. Right now, at least. I'm sorry. Maybe he'll surprise me. Maybe he'll knock my socks off and blow me out of my mind. But right now, I literally see nothing. But AJ Styles and Omos, either way, are winning the Raw Tag Titles. This next match, this feud just needs to die. It needs to be crumbled up. Actually, it needs to be crumbled up. Needs to get stuck inside my runny nose. Blow into my nose. I need another tissue already. And just go in the trash. That is where it needs to go. Because this feud has been awful. So freaking awful. I am so sorry. I can't use that anymore. Yeah, this whole storyline with Shane McMahon just saying that Braun Strowman is stupid. First off, who the heck would even be even more stupid to try to pick a fight with Braun Strowman over him being stupid? But then again, when you have Braun Strowman being booked like an idiot, basically just, saying stuff like, I'm mad at Shane McMahon, but I'm not going to do anything about it because I don't want to get fired. It's like the same guy who pulled down a scaffold, who freaking tried to throw Roman Reigns off a cliff, freaking flipped an ambulance, flipped a semi, ripped Vince McMahon's car door off his limo. Now all of a sudden, I don't want to get fired. What stopped you before? And then, obviously this was just to get Shane on the show, just for him to be able to do some crazy stunt, but which is like, okay, fine, at least the match would be interesting, right? No, the match is a steel cage match. So, you're either going to have Braun Strowman massacre Shane McMahon inside of a steel cage. And Shane, the best thing Shane can do at this point is jump off the top of the cage. So, we've seen him jump off of Hell in a Cell. We've seen him jump off of... I already told you, I'm live streaming. We've seen him jump off Hell in a Cell. We've seen him jump off a scaffold. He's jumped off the craziest things you could come up with. And now to have him jump off a steel cage... We've seen him jump off. We've seen how many people jump off a steel cage. So, why? It's just... This being a steel cage match is just blunders. So, to me, again, it just... It feels like a ripoff. Like a complete, ripoff as being a steel cage match. So, I said before, I'm like, okay, story sucks, but the match should be good. Now I'm like, I don't care about the match, because I can see, again, I'm going to say this right now, I think Shane's winning this. I think Shane's going to pull some stupid stunt like he did against The Miz, where he fell through his shirt and escaped the cage. Braun's going to pull what he did with Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens at Extreme Rules in 2018, 2019, one of the two. And he's going to throw Shane off the top of the cage and lose. I just can't see this being just a clean fight and Braun Strowman winning. I think Shane's going to pull off some stupid stunt, and to me, honestly, it should lead to Braun. I kind of hope that happens, because Braun Strowman, he needs to turn heel. He needs to turn heel. I'm sorry. He is so dead in the water I feel like maybe make him a complete heel again, have him just wreck shit again, like he used to. Maybe I'll light the fire back at him again. I don't know, because right now he's just ugh. So I think we're gonna get Shane McMahon winning from some stupid nonsense. That's what I'm predicting. Okay, moving on now. Match number 4. A match I'm actually looking forward to. Seth Rollins and Cesaro, just one-on-one. All it's gotta be. I'm glad to see Cesaro get this opportunity. He has not had a singles match at WrestleMania yet in his career. He's been Andre the Giant. He's been in tag title matches. Too many tag title matches, of course. The fact he's getting a singles match against someone like Seth Rollins, who has a great resume at WrestleMania, keep in mind, I think it's just great. I think this has definitely been, I feel like these guys have had some one-on-one matches on like Raw or SmackDown in the past. Well, probably mostly Raw. But, I blow my nose again. Sorry, I'll be right back one more time, guys. I gotta blow my nose again. Alright, anyways, we're back here. Sorry, my nose was blown again. Anyways, Seth Rollins and Cesaro, like I said, great choice for a WrestleMania match, and a great choice for a one-on-one match for Cesaro. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up. I did get my hopes up, of course, for Elimination Chamber. I thought that was going to be Cesaro's night. Him win the Chamber, him going to go on to have a star-making performance match against Roman Reigns. Did not happen. He did have a decent performance inside the Chamber, no. But they're telling the story here perfectly with this feud. Seth Rollins is just picking on Cesaro, saying how he's not, succeeding with his fullest potential. And Seth Rollins has all the reasons, be full of himself, because like I said, he's pretty much done everything. He basically does have the resume to be a Hall of Famer. Especially with him being WrestleMania. He literally is the modern day, probably, Mr. WrestleMania. And of course, that's just a good person for someone like Cesaro, who we all know the fans instantly are able to get behind. So annoyed. Are instantly able to get behind. And just give him the shot, he's going to get over. Of course, we all know he can get over, but WWE has held back on him for years. So, this, to me, would probably be one of the few times where I'm going to get my hopes up here. And I hope WWE pulls the trigger and gives Cesaro his big win here. As I'm predicting Cesaro to defeat Seth Rollins and get a victory in his first singles match ever at WrestleMania. Needs to happen. He needs to get it. He deserves it. And maybe, just maybe, in a few months, we'll be seeing Cesaro take on the Universal Champion and get that long-awaited one-on-one title shot he's never gotten in his long career in WWE. Like 8, 9 years now? And I think the only time he's ever had a title shot for the world title was, again, an actual title shot, not the number one contenders shot. An actual world title shot was at Elimination Chamber 2014 when he was in there with Orton, Cena, Bryan, Sheamus, and Christian. That's the only time Cesaro has ever gotten a title shot. Not even a one-on-one shot, just a world title shot. That's it. So I hope this does deliver as I feel like it should. If done right, and it's not that hard, this will deliver. So there's one match that I'm definitely really stoked about. Is Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Another match I'm very stoked about. Even though the build's been weird, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I think the next big money match for sure for the women's division in WWE. The next one that we were all hyped up to see. I mean, yes, they rushed Sasha Banks and Bayley. We've seen, Sasha and Asuka. We've seen, Sasha and Charlotte. We've seen Sasha and Becky. We've seen it all. This is one of the next big money matches for the women's division. We got Sasha Banks, who has finally gotten a lengthy title reign. I gotta say, she's been doing good with it. And then the next upcoming big name, Bianca Belair, in which SmackDown is going to be her brand. The question is, though, is WrestleMania that night where that era begins? This is a tough one, because for the longest time, I've wanted to go all the way and say Bianca Belair wins this. However, though, I feel like they haven't dug deep into this feud yet. And I know, 3 years ago, when Shinsuke Nakamura turned heel at WrestleMania 34, I thought that seemed off. I guess it seemed off because it just didn't fit, like, the whole, persona I felt. I felt like, it was like, okay, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura needs to be like a one-time classic. Not have WrestleMania be like a setup match for the rest of their feud. Even though I feel like that could be the case here, I kind of see them doing what they did in 2017 with Asuka and Ember Moon. How they basically, well, I don't know if it's quite necessary to go this route, because Sasha Banks is not like treated like she's like super duper duper unbeatable like Asuka was. Although Sasha Banks has had the SmackDown Women's Division in the palm of her hands, since she, broke away from Bayley. Or even beforehand too, when, they were obviously giving her a lot of victories before her and Bayley split. But this is going to be one of those matches, I feel, where Sasha Banks meets her match. Meaning, like, in order to make, that great of, like, an opponent, or, like, of, like, I think, my prediction is Sasha Banks retaining. And I'm saying that because I feel like, it's going to be one of those stories where it's like, okay, Sasha Banks, has been on a tear, and, no one's been able to beat her. But, of course, she's still a babyface. I think this match, she will full-fledged, turn heel and continue the feud with her and Bianca. And let's say SummerSlam, we have the rematch and the blow-off to this feud, maybe, where Bianca wins the Women's Championship. Have this, again, like, treat this match like how, again, this match, I think, should go like Asuka and Ember Moon did back at NXT TakeOver Orlando. Have Sasha Banks realize that, she's met her match. She's met her weakness. Like, she's met the one person that, she can't beat. And have her to pull off some type of tactic to win the match. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I can see happening. Don't get Reginald involved. Don't even think about getting Reginald involved anymore. You already got him, mooching now with Nia Jax. Ugh. So, don't get Reginald involved. Just have this be where Sasha goes full on heel and continue the feud. Again, just tell the very similar story with Asuka and Ember Moon. Except eventually, Bianca actually does win the title off of Sasha Banks. But this is still going to be great. I can't wait for this match. So that's my pick for that match. Match number 6. The celebrity match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in a tag team taking on The Miz and Morrison. Again, wasn't The Miz just WWE champion not even like a little over a month ago? Wasn't he? I thought so, yeah. Now he's feuding with Bad Bunny. And a lot of people are mentioning this to me, and I have not been aware of this. Bad Bunny apparently has done a good job with trying to draw in some other, non-wrestling viewers. But like I keep saying, this is a wrestling show, not a celebrity, appearance show. Because I can't trust WWE to not make the celebrities the bigger focal point of the show. Plus two, when you're teaming up with a guy like Damian Priest, who's a next up-and-coming star, future world champion, and he's taking a back seat to Bad Bunny. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. And also, I found it very weird that they had this be one-on-one, and then all of a sudden, like the week before WrestleMania, they finally make it a tag team match. I feel like they should have just made it a tag team match to begin with, because, why would they have Bad Bunny go on take on The Miz, and when, we already had Miz and Morrison in their quarters anyway. It's like, are you telling a story that Bad Bunny can't win by himself? I don't know. It was weird booking, but I don't care about this match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest get the victory. Night one's main event, we got Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre WWE Championship. Around Fastlane, even right before a few weeks ago, you had me in a tough predicament as to who I felt should win this match. Again, I think, the whole goal behind this was, since there are fans, they obviously wanted to give Drew McIntyre the WrestleMania moment he did not get to have last year. I totally get that, and I'm totally cool with that. Problem is, though, is you told this story with Bobby Lashley, especially when he's the one who dethroned The Miz, because he made a deal with The Miz. Because John Morrison costed him his United States Championship, he would help The Miz win the WWE Championship as long as he got the first shot. And, even though I hated how The Miz won the title, in some ways it kind of worked. The thing is, though, is you basically made Bobby Lashley a babyface without even trying. Bobby Lashley, very similar story to Drew McIntyre, with him getting, let go by WWE and so forth. And, took him 17 years to actually win a world title. So it's what Drew McIntyre had. Well, here's the thing. Drew McIntyre's had that moment. Bobby Lashley just got that moment. And when you were booking him right, booking him like a Brock Lesnar, unbeatable, you don't want to see this guy go on just a 7-week reign as champion. This needs to be made like a year out of it. But what did they do? They tried pushing Bobby Lashley in a different direction, as they should have. They tried to push the fact that he's still a heel, even though he basically had like a babyface story for him winning the title. And they broke up the Hurt Business, which I don't get that. Then they have, someone. He basically hid behind Baron Corbin, and I was just like, you're going back to booking him from square one again. You messed it up. You overproduced again, and you panicked. And instead of just letting Bobby Lashley just be, you made him. You tried to push too much that he's supposed to be a heel. You made him a coward. You made him hide behind other people, and you freaking broke up the Hurt Business, which I'm still mad about. So, if this was right when when Bobby Lashley won the championship, I'd be saying I was torn. But because of the recent book in the past 2 weeks, it's obvious they're going to give it back to Drew. I'd rather see Bobby Lashley not get all of his momentum cut off, but how you backed into a corner and you booked him like this, and just basically tore down what you built with him. I think Drew's going to win the title back. Drew wins the title back. I don't think he's going to hold it for that long once he gets it back. That's why I was kind of hoping. Here's the thing also. If you wanted to give Drew the moment, I feel, because the story evolved it, you should have had Sheamus be the one to help Miz cash in. And Sheamus win the world title, and have Sheamus versus McIntyre. At least that right there, you would have had an actual heel. Where Bobby Lashley, yes, he's supposed to be a heel, but you just gave him a Cinderella story for him to win that championship. But, like I said, now that they basically squandered it and they've tried to book Bobby Lashley like a typical heel champion, I think they're going to give it to McIntyre. That's my pick. I'm going with McIntyre. So that is night 1 of my pre-predictions. Let's get to night 2. Speaking of Sheamus, and a match I don't care about, Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. First off, I don't care about this match. One, we've seen it on Raw how many times recently. And two, it's a typical story. Sheamus beat Matt Riddle clean, so he should get a title. That's how a title opportunity. So that's how it is for most title opportunities anymore. You just have to beat the champion clean, which champions lose clean all the time in non-title matches, and then you go on to fight him at the next pay-per-view. That's how it is. So, WWE logic here, Matt Riddle's retaining. Say the same? Cool. Make it on the pre-show. Opening match for night 2 should be Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Tough decision. Because in some ways, they could kind of book this how I suggested. Well, not really, because, they're both baby faces. I feel like, if anyone could probably pull off a heel more, it probably would be Rhea Ripley over Asuka. So maybe not pull off, the story I suggested for Sasha and Bianca with the whole Asuka and Ember Moon booking. This is also a good shot because Rhea Ripley did not get to have her WrestleMania match against Charlotte Flair in front of a crowd last year. So this makes up for it, and I'm glad it is. This is the match I wanted for the Raw Women's Championship, believe it or not. Remember, though, a couple months ago, right before Elimination Chamber, it was going to be Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair. Oh, dear God, no. But we're still getting this match. And I think it'll be good. I don't know if it will outdo Charlotte and Rhea from last year, but it's still going to be good. I think Rhea wins the title here. Again, Asuka, she's done the best she can since Becky went on maternity leave or whatever it was. But it's time to move on to something fresh. And I feel like, again, SmackDown, once she wins it, will be Bianca Belair's show. Raw is ready to be Rhea Ripley's show. So, I'm picking Rhea Ripley to win the championship from Asuka. Next match, speaking of title changes, Big E versus Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight. Glad they added the stipulation to this match. Felt it was needed. Look, I've really enjoyed what these two have done. With Big E, of course, getting his singles career off the ground and doing very well. I've really liked what they've done with Big E. And there's Apollo Crews, who finally, after the longest time, turned heel. And yes, the accent's it's still growing on me, but I can't complain and still say I love this character. And the fact that they had the match, a Nigerian drum fight, playing a little bit more into Apollo Crews' new heel character, I'm like, okay, we're cooking. The problem I have with this feud is that we've already seen the match how many times? They had like 1 or 2 matches, one-on-one on SmackDown. I think they had a triple threat with Apollo and Sammy and Big E. We had the match at Fastlane that ended up being pointless. So, if they didn't have done it so many times, again, I still say they should have had Big E not come back until after Fastlane. Or had Apollo Crews face somebody else at Fastlane, him get the victory, and then Big E returns then. So, they've done this match how many times? And because of that, I'm going with what I went with at Fastlane. I'm going with Apollo Crews. Again, Big E, he's been champion since Christmas. He'll be fine. I feel like now you take the mid-card title off of Big E and focus on him being a main eventer. He's just about ready to break through those doors, and I think he's going to be awesome. And by next year, fight for the world title. Apollo Crews, though, I like what they're doing with him, but again, I'm afraid if they don't capitalize on this, he's just going to be another heel back in catering. And I don't want to see that happen to Apollo. He's worked way too hard to get passed on yet again. So, Apollo Crews, make the Nigerian drum fight your match, and you become our next Intercontinental Champion. Deal? That's that match. That was match number 10. Let's talk about this next match. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And Logan Paul is going to be there, at ringside with Sami Zayn. Really? I pitched this perfect match stipulation that I feel would have been awesome to make this match even more must-see at WrestleMania. You got Kevin Owens, who just came off doing some of the best work in his career with his feud with Roman Reigns. You got Sami Zayn, who, let's be honest, still annoying, but at least has had some more sense to him since he returned after being gone for 5 months. You have this story here where Kevin Owens is basically trying to knock some sense into Sami Zayn. Fine. But Sami Zayn is constantly complaining about conspiracy issues and all that other jazz. Why not, again, the story of Kevin Owens trying to knock some sense into Sami Zayn. Again, if it's just a regular one-on-one match, Sami's going to find yet again another reason for them to be there could be a conspiracy against him. He's going to complain, and it feels like this was worth nothing. Kevin Owens did not beat any sense into Sami Zayn. What I think should be done again is an I Quit match. Have Owens say, I'm going to beat some sense into you, and if you want to win this match, you gotta earn it. You gotta make me say I quit. And I want to give you no excuses when you quit, and basically say you lose because you said I quit. That's all you gotta do. But no, I have a feeling this match is going to be a disappointment. Because the centerpiece of this match, again, is Logan Paul. Probably just some comedic relief. Now, I already predicted, a couple, blunders where the heels, pull off some type of tactic and win the match. I was close to feeling that for this match, but I'm like, nah. Of all the matches that should be happening too, it's this. This match should not be based around a freaking celebrity. But I just hope it's good. I know this could be a great match. We know the match these two have had in their history. But again, if you're going to focus it on Logan Paul, then again, it's going to hamper from that. So, I hate to say it, but I'm not as excited for this match as I was before. Unless they add that I Quit stipulation to it, or something more interesting than Logan Paul being there, I may take a little more interest. Just saying. That's that match. We have this match. Women's Tag Championship. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus my predicted winners of Night 1, Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. I know they've already had opportunities, but not as many. Obviously, they want to make it a Raw versus SmackDown match. Have the Riott Squad win, and we can move on and maybe finally break up Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Please, thank you, and goodbye. Next match. Another match that should have had a stipulation. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. Why does this not have a stipulation to it? This obviously was meant to have a stipulation with how long you freaking dragged out this feud. Dear Lord. They've done a lot of wonky crap with this. But for the longest time, it led to nothing. But you did this after going from an Inferno match and The Fiend being buried alive to just this normal one-on-one match. Who cares? Like, these two, we all know, didn't have the best chemistry when they feuded 3 years ago. And I do another one-on-one match between them. I'm like, I'll pass. I completely lost interest in this feud, even with the Fiend returning. But as predicted, like I said, it dragged on too long that I just want something new from these two. So, just finish it. Fiend wins. Move on. No stipulation at all. And finally, the main event. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, and Edge. Triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Obviously, I wanted this match to be Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan one-on-one. We end up getting a Fastlane, and now we're getting three guys who basically at one point had their careers either already over or in jeopardy. Roman Reigns in 2018 when his leukemia returned. Daniel Bryan in 2016 with his neck injuries and concussions. And Edge with triple fusion neck surgery 10 years ago. Now, the story has been messy. Of course, with Edge getting upset about Bryan getting involved, but in some ways it's kind of like, Edge looked like an idiot getting upset for what he was getting upset for. And then Bryan, obviously, taking advantage of trying to get one more shot at this maybe his last WrestleMania as a full-time wrestler. All together, though, this is still going to be an awesome match. But definitely the most unpredictable one. I can see it going either way. I can see, we already had Bryan, make Reigns tap out when the referee was not looking, and Edge didn't acknowledge it. Edge didn't acknowledge it. There you go. At Fastlane, he just beat them down with steel chairs. So you can see him winning. I can see Edge winning with the storybook, story of him returning and win the championship back 10 years later. Or give Roman Reigns continue his reign. Quite frankly, I love Daniel Bryan. I love Edge. But I'm going to be still be 100% real. Someone fresh, I feel, needs to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. That person, I have a couple possibilities. Big E, Keith Lee, if he comes to SmackDown. Keith Lee, definitely one of them. Cesaro, love to see Cesaro get a big win over him. That's basically it right now as far as like fresh matches to goes and whatnot. People who I think should be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. But yeah, I think Roman should win this. Again, I love Bryan, I love Edge. But to me, I feel like, they're not the best. They're not, the freshest names, I feel like, to be the one to dethrone Roman. Again, Roman's just on the run of his career right now. He finally found the right character, the right dynamic. He's had a very long reign since Payback, I think it was, this past August. I feel like, they really got to capitalize on this even more. And I feel like, his time as champ is not up yet. Again, he hasn't found the right person to be the one to dethrone him. So that's why I'm going to go with Roman Reigns winning the Universal Championship. Retain the Universal Championship in a triple threat. And that's going to do it, guys. Again, I know I rushed through this. This was a very messy stream. Like I said, my friends will be here in a couple minutes. I just had to squeeze this in. And sorry also, allergies are kicking in again. But hopefully I'll get rid of those very quickly. So guys, those are my predictions for WrestleMania 37. Again, my predictions are, from night 1, Riot Squad win the Tag Team Turmoil. AJ and Omos win the Raw Tag Titles. Shane McMahon wins the Steel Cage match by some stupid nonsense. Cesaro defeats Seth Rollins. Sasha Banks retains against Bianca Belair, solidifying a heel turn. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest win the tag match, and then Drew McIntyre defeats Bobby Lashley. Night 2, Matt Riddle defeats Sheamus, Rhea Ripley defeats Asuka, Apollo Crews defeats Big E, Kevin Owens defeats Sami Zayn, and Logan Paul just makes it, dull. Riot Squad win the women's tag titles. The Fiend defeats Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship. That's going to do it, guys. Didn't have any tags. Let me check the live chat. What's up, Mark? That's it. I will be live twice tonight with my good friend Joe Miller. We're going to go live during the Finn Balor and Karrion Kross match, and also Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. This weekend, the guys are coming to my house for Sunday night. I'm not sure when we're going to go live for which matches. For WrestleMania, I mean, at least we're going to be doing live reactions for the triple threat between Reigns, Bryan, and Edge. Not sure what else we'll do live reactions for, but tonight, definitely Kross and Balor, and then Cole and O'Reilly. But yeah, I'll do live reactions for those. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Gotta check out, gotta get my house set up for Joe to come over. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Catch you all on the flip side. Peace out, everybody.